What is up, my friends, and welcome to the UFL Week in Review, one of the longest-running UFL podcasts in history. I'm your host, diving into the heart of the UFL as we count down 43 days till kickoff on March 30th. This week, we're unpacking a treasure trove of updates and insight from the comprehensive guide on the new season's gameplay and rule changes, unveiling the official game ball and website, AJ McCarron's big move back to the St. Louis Battlehawks. We've got you covered. Plus, we'll touch on the latest from last night's DC Defenders event that I was at, some key QB signings, and the 2024 head coaches power rank. And stay tuned for an update on News Hub Fantasy site and the UFL News Hub mobile app. We got that. We'll wrap up with your emails, sharing insights, and answering your burning questions. So buckle up for another episode packed with everything you need to gear up for the UFL 2024 season.
Today is just such a special day. The XFL and the USFL merged together to create one powerful spring football league called the UFL. These players are going to play hard-nosed, intense football, passionate football.
Every play matters.
They got one shot. They're going to ball out. Incredible. Spring football is here to stay.
The UFL season kicks off March 30th on Fox and ABC.
The UFL rules are finally out. So we got the schedule last week. Now we've got the rules. We are now just gearing up to kickoff on March 30th. Plus, we've got training camp starts in basically this is the last weekend of not having training camp, if you think about that. Next weekend, training camp begins. So we have the UFL rules. They came out. Let's go right down. I have at the bottom. I go through every single freaking rule of the main ones that you want to know about. So basically, at the end of the article, I have the list of each UFL rule that's changed. So, of course, points after touchdowns, 3 options for scoring a touchdown vary on the points based on the distance. Kickoff adjusted to start from the 20-yard line of the kicking team with specific rules for out-of-bounds kicks. That was a new thing. So the XFL kickoff rule is out. The USFL we're kind of using the USFL rule. NFL has been talking about trying the XFL kickoff rule, but they're not going to do it either. So that kickoff could be a thing of the past. Touchback rules, standardized placement at the receiving team's 25-yard line after all touchbacks. Alternate possession option, fourth quarter option for a 4th and 12 play from the team's own 28-yard line as an alternate to onside kicks. I love that play. Gives us fans a chance, the teams to kind of come back. We saw it work with the XFL in 2023. The 2 forward passes, we know about that. That continues to stay. Catch definition specifies requirements of a completed catch or interception, basically 2 feet in bounds versus 1. That was kind of difference. Defensive pass interference penalties for defensive pass interference to discourage deliberate fouls, ensuring game fairness. Replay reviews, comprehensive system, plays to correct potential officiating errors. Coaches challenge the overtime format. Introduces the best of 3 attempts from the opponent's 5-yard line. That's basically the short of it. We break down everything. Coaches may challenge any ruling once per game as long as they have a time remaining. A successful challenge won't cost the challenging team a timeout, promoting strategic use of challenges without unduly penalizing teams. The replay department can review plays at any point, which is kind of the way the NFL should do it. Just let them review it. If it's just get the call right. I've always said I can't wait for robots to come in and handle all of this stuff and AI to kind of figure out all these things because I just want it right. I don't care about like what they do with like Major League Baseball. Like, oh, well, the umpires, it's the nostalgia. Shut up. Just get it right. That's all I care about. And that's what fans care about. And really, referee calls, I hate it's. If I'm a business owner of the NFL or UFL or any of these others, when it comes, you don't want fans to be talking about an officiating call. You want them to talk about the players and the game, not that kind of stuff. That's why I want to stay away from it. Penalties for defensive pass interference will be 15 yards or a spot foul if the infraction occurs less than 15 yards downfield. Intentional interference beyond 15 yards results in a spot foul, aiming to discourage defensive players from committing those things. Both feet in bounds, the catch definition required. I would prefer 1 foot in bounds. Why do you need 2? Just one's fine, but I guess they want to be more like the NFL because that's the way the NFL game rules are And that's basically the gist of it there. So the kickoff that's the main thing. Of course, extra points. Teams have 3 scrimmage plays, so there's going to be no kicking extra points, unlike with the USFL. They were kicking extra points. It's kind of pointless. And this makes it more fun and keeps, you can basically get 9 points, and we've seen it work. So teams will have 3 scrimmage play area options. The 2-yard line is worth 1 point. 5-yard line is worth 2. And I think a lot of teams last year just did the 2-point conversion from the 5-yard line, and then the 10-yard line for 3 points. So you really want that 10-yard line if you're down, really trying to make up some ground there. So that's basically the key rules. The rules package, you can download it in PDF format. I believe it's like 174 pages if you want to be a super nerd and read out on all the rules, but we have it all for you on UFL News Hub. But there you have it. Basically everything that we've kind of thought about. What do you think of the rules? I personally, I'm fine with it. The only one that I have any kind of questions about, I did like the XFL kickoff. We'll have to see how the USFL's kickoff version, and it has been modified a little bit. I just prefer 2 feet, 1 foot in bounds versus 2. I never liked that call, but let us know what you think in the comments. But we've got the rules. We've got we've got team. We've got all this stuff is coming out. We've got the schedule. We've got the rules, and now it's just game time. The UFL unveils the official game ball and new website and gear. So there you have it. No Danny Garcia name on the ball. It's got the USFL conference on one side, XFL conference, and then it's kind of that silver thing. Each team has their own kind of ball where it's got the team logo at the bottom. They introduced that. They also revamped their digital presence. So the UFL.com is a new website. It looks much better. Shop the USFL.com. They have new merch. Not a ton of stuff out there yet. The game balls apparently have been flying off the shelves. I definitely would like to get one of them. But they have limited edition online exclusives like some T-shirts with the schedule on the back. If you go to shop by team, I mean, I was even looking at this like the DC Defenders. I mean, we've got the football and basically some shirts, and that's about it. I think as time goes on, I was looking for I really wanted to get the UFL merchandise, and they just had T-shirts. I was really trying to get a hat, but you see like the ball is sold out. I like the sweatshirts. Those are pretty nice too. They look good. So I'm going to have to grab a T-shirt and, but they have new merch. And just like when they did last time, more of the stuff will come out. So that's basically it. And of course the new site and the game ball. What do you think of the game ball? Big Game Football Factory were the ones that created it. Brands like Under Armour and MSX or all be part of this. There was talk about Under Armour maybe not being part of that. Of course, kickoff starts March 30th. Single game pre-sale tickets are starting February 20th. So as of this recording, that is 4 days from now, you can get your tickets. But now we've got websites up. We'll see if they have original content on there now. We'll have to see how that goes. But of course, why do you need to go there when you can go to UFLnewshub.com? It's official. AJ McCarron is back with the St. Louis Battlehawks. That really just jumps them up to the top of the heap. You know, AJ McCarron, we talked about the interview with Matty Fresh that he had, and he was kind of reservations, but apparently, so he decided to ask the Bengals to cut him so that he could return to the St. Louis Battlehawks. I think it's great for him, especially if this league continues. You could definitely have a guy like AJ McCarron, even in year 3 or 4. Maybe this is something they said, like, hey, we'll put you in the broadcast booth. Like, you play a season or 2 in the UFL and win a championship or something like that. Then we'll have you, you could do the broadcast booth, pregame shows. I mean, as this league grows, if it does grow, then there's opportunities for these players to kind of be part of the game afterwards. I mean, can you imagine if this is a 10-year-old league? So who knows what kind of money they gave him or what, but AJ McCarron is back. The one interesting thing, of course, he had a huge season, MVP type season. His backup quarterback is Brandon Silvers, which was interesting. I wonder if that was insurance. I'm surprised that Silvers wants to play behind AJ McCarron. You figured that maybe he would want a starting gig somewhere else, like Houston. But Brandon Silvers, I wouldn't be, maybe was insurance. Maybe he gets cut, maybe he gets traded, but that's something to keep an eye on because Silvers played well in the beginning and played well. I mean, Houston was a good team last year. So that's something to keep an eye on. But AJ McCarron is back. We haven't gotten an official word about Jordan Ta'amu, but that basically everything is said that he was going to return as well. So you're talking to 2 top quarterbacks in the league. Ben DiNucci, of course, is not coming back, and there'll be new stars to be find out through this season. But 8 teams, the rosters are cut down, teams are stacked. Battlehawks Nation could cause the law. To me, I would put you guys at the top of the list as far as team to beat in the UFL. What do you think?
In football, every play counts towards the win, just like every click counts towards growing your business. At CM3 Solutions, we're the game changers you need. With our cutting-edge SEO strategies, we'll put your business in the top league, ensuring you're seen by the fans that matter most, your customers. And when it comes to web design, we craft winning plays with stunning websites that not only look great but perform. From the first click, your audience is engaged with user-friendly designs that score big on customer satisfaction. Need a custom app? We've got the playbook to bring your vision to life, enhancing your digital presence and driving your business forward. So, whether it's SEO, web design, or application development, team up with CM3 Solutions. Let's score those business goals together. CM3 Solutions, where your business wins. Visit us today at cm3solutions.com.
What is up, my friends? We are back at it again at DC Defenders event. Can you believe it? 2024. A lot has changed since the championship game that we were in San Antonio. The first game will take place in San Antonio. That seems normal. But how about a brand new league name merged with the UFL? That's something that we were not thinking about when we were at the DC Defenders Arlington Renegades championship game in San Antonio. We were just thinking, hey, cool, we're on to year 2. This is great. And year 2 is completely different. 8 teams, 3 from the USFL, really 4 from the USFL, 4 from the XFL, a whole new start. We're going to hear to meet Russ Brandon, Daryl Moose Johnston, of course, Reggie Barlow, our DC Defenders head coach, and also hang out with some of my buds that's been since San Antonio. We get to hang out. So let's check it out. Oh, and let's put on the hat. That's a wrap. DC Defenders event. I have to leave. I'm off to a birthday party. But it was, man, just being there with all the guys and gals and meeting everybody and get to see everybody again. Man, it gets you pumped up for another exciting UFL season this time. But it was great meeting everybody. And now it's time for a kickoff in about a month. All right, we are back. And yeah, you got to see the clip from me being at the DC Defenders event. I would have stayed longer at a friend's surprise birthday party. I traveled an hour and a half to drive in DC traffic to that event. Super excited about the Solus Outpost. Did not know it was there. Talked to the people that work there. Talked to the crew about that venue. It was great to see all of the cast of characters of DC Defenderum. I definitely plan on having them on the podcast. I want them to be able to kind of give their background story and plus talk to basically help teach the things that's been created in DC for these other franchises. I mean, St. Louis and DC have been around longer. I mean, the Beer Snake came in 2020, Corral came in 2020. Now you have the Brahmas, and Arlington has been around too. But the tradition's there. I mean, but they're now champion, and Bob Stoops, so they have their thing. So I mean, and really the energy of the league is the fans. And I've said this, and I was able to talk to basically everybody there about, we talked about the league and where we think things are going to go. And really it comes down to the fans. Fans show out, sell tickets, go to games, bring your friend. I was even thinking of like, hey, just do a +1. Who's your +1 right now watching the show? Because ultimately it comes up to the fans. If the stadiums are all packed, we're golden and we're off to the races. If it's light, then there's going to be problems because that ticket impacts television, the way it's viewed on television. It impacts sponsorships, all that kind of stuff. So the main thing, really, the driver is, I mean, there's all the things like merchandise sales, etc. But the main driver is getting those fans in the seats. So who is your +1 that you're bringing to a game this year? I want you to think about it right now. Something that we're doing kind of on the church side of things, in the church that I'm involved with. Just becoming friends with somebody, and then maybe that they're your +1, that person, your one person that you might talk about Christ with, or maybe never. And that's kind of like what the church is doing. And I was like, well, that's really interesting. And it's been very cool and inspiring to listen to people's stories. But let's apply that same methodology to the UFL. Like, who is that person, that one person that you're going to bring to a game this year? Just once. You have 5 home games to do it, but just bringing that one person. I plan on bringing friends to every game. I plan on getting a bus to bring my friends to a game and videotaping that whole thing as well. So those are kind of the things that are in the works. Also talked about maybe doing a road trip to St. Louis. Yes, that was a topic of conversation as well. Bringing me, my wife, and our crew, the DC Defender crew, to St. Louis for a Corral battle of all time, which would be a lot of fun. So, but it was a great event. Great to see everybody. I needed that, with all of the changes. And I've been doing this since 2020. And it was kind of like, it was really great to like meet the staff and all the changes that's happened. But basically, this is a new season. This is season 1 this is the inaugural season of the UFL. So we're starting over again. And I've started over with the first XFL in 2020. Then the USFL started over with them. Then the XFL started over with them. And now the UFL. So there's like 4 times, plus CFL News Hub too. So I'm kind of like over it. But I think that I think after a couple of weeks, I think we're on the right track. I'm feeling good. I'm cautiously optimistic because, you get burnt, whatever. But I'm all in. And you should be too. So remember, think about that +1 person to bring to a game. Some UFL roster updates. Some guys that were signed this week, 5 quarterbacks were signed. I'm not doing every single time they put out a press release when there's 3 people on it. The guys at UFL News Hub, they're breaking it down if it impacts their team. But I'm just kind of waiting, letting them pile up. But some quarterbacks that came in, Matt Carroll, was recently with the NFL's Panthers. He is in the league. Tom Flacco, brother of Super Bowl MVP Joe Flacco. So 46 players across various teams agreed to terms. That brings the total that I have is 191. Remember, there's 600 players total positions, but this is from January 30th to February 13th. Guys that were waived that we knew about: Corey Coleman, wide receiver. He was a player in the NFL. I guess he didn't want to do it. And I think a lot of these guys they didn't want to do it. Khalil McKenzie is a name. Nick Tiano, he got let go, but now you see that St. Louis is stacks. Max Borghi is a running back. Part of me thinks, what if maybe they brought AJ McCarron in for 1 year, but had Brandon Silvers kind of as the backup, and Brandon Silvers would be the guy going forward after this year. Nick Hawley, I don't know why they listed him as quarterback. was another name on there as well. Agreed to terms. Guys like Vic Beasley, linebacker, is a player. Drew Plitt, quarterback, Ball State. He goes back to Arlington, so he will back up Luis Perez. We haven't heard about Luis Perez, but we're hearing that he's also going to be back. DeMarcus Gates, one of my favorite players, just a baller, is back with Mississippi. Love DeMarcus Gates. I have his, and I didn't ask last night if they were doing NFTs, but probably not. Matt Corral, quarterback, Mississippi. He's with Birmingham now. That was going to be some interesting stuff. Cameron Harris signs, and Andre Mintz, linebacker for the DC Defenders. Those are some names out there. Lots of San Antonio guys. Katie Cannon, of course, played with the DC Defenders. Tom Flacco is on there. Anthony McFarland, running back from Maryland. Brad Wigg returns. Quinten Dormady is now with San Antonio as well. And on St. Louis side of things, Manny Wilkins, quarterback. So he'd probably be the third string quarterback on the roster. Mateo Durant, running back as well. There is what you have. There's going to be a lot more transactions as we get closer and closer to the kickoff of the season. And basically, February 24th, training camp begins in Arlington, Texas. Isn't that crazy? I'm ready. It was very cool to just be out there with the fans. It was a lot more people at this event than was before. Hearing ticket sales are crushing. St. Louis is crushing. DC is crushing. Birmingham is crushing. A lot of these, San Antonio is doing well. Like, there's a lot of energy in this league, and I think that's just going to grow throughout the season. I think we're at the bottom. This is kind of the basement. This is where the foundation has been laid. I mean, you've got all sorts of pros. From Moose Johnson has been around, all the experts from both leagues are all together, one shot. One of the things that was talked about was, we were surprised at how quickly the leagues merged, and everybody was very surprised. They figured it would happen. I've heard people say to me 3, 4, 5 years out, but everybody was surprised, but it kind of made sense where things are going, where the industry is going. So there you have it. Power rankings, Pat Ruffino. Let me know what you think about his coaching power rankings. We'll get him on the show. Mike Nolan, he's got him at number 8. Curtis Johnson, Houston Roughnecks, he's got him at number 7. Anthony Beck, St. Louis Battlehawks at number 6. Hey, if you got a team with AJ McCarron, John DiFilippo, Memphis Showboats, he's got him at number 5. Wade Phillips, San Antonio Brahmas, they will be much better. Having Wade Phillips in San Antonio with a stadium that could rock is going to be good. We really need, DC needs to be good, St. Louis needs to be good, San Antonio needs to be good. Is San Antonio needs to be good. And I think having Wade Phillips, they were a good team last year, just in the hunt. I think that will excite the fan base in San Antonio, and they could fill up that building also. That would be a good one. Reggie Barlow, DC Defenders at number 3. We love Reggie Barlow. He's our guy in DC. Bob Stoops at number 2, the Arlington Renegades, and Skip Holtz, Birmingham Stallions. Why not? 2 back-to-back champion. Why not? Bob Stoops, champion. Reggie Barlow, 3. So I don't have a problem with this. I'm a little surprised that he's got Anthony Beck down that low. But you want to read the full article, head over to UFL News Hub to check that out. And finally, the Houston Roughnecks announced their kickoff event at Rice Stadium February 17th. They would like you to, Daryl Moose Johnson and Curtis Johnson will be there. Roughnecks head coach to speak with fans. This will be at Rice Stadium for a special event. February 17th, there's RSVP link on our website where you can get in, and you can win prizes and stuff like that. I had to leave early on the DC Defenders event. I would have stayed there for another hour or two. My poor wife has had the flu all week. She has been out, so she couldn't be there. She really wanted to be there too. And so hopefully we get one more event. But definitely, if you're a fan, or even if you're thinking about it, just talking to people, there's just a different vibe with the UFL and the XFL and the USFL. And this, you can get in on the ground floor now to be part of this league and create something new. I mean, all these guys, the DC Defender guys, I mean, some of them were part of 2020. Some of them were part of, we were like, wait, where did you come from? Oh, they just came during the season. I mean, between the lemons and the beer snake and all that fun stuff. So, I mean, but if you live in Memphis, if you're a Michigan Panther, like you can create something for yourself that if this league succeeds, like could take you along the way. If you're just some guy that sits there, and you're a super fan of football, like I think Memphis showboats, ties with the boatman hat, like straight up, love boat style, and have a crew of you there. Like and I saw some guys do that last year. That was awesome. There was people in it was just growing in certain sections of the league. And I think that will continue going forward. So you want to go out and check out these events. Definitely everybody has had an event except for the St. Louis Battlehawks, because I think they're going to need a huge venue to do their event. And also the Arlington Renegades, I would assume that they're just waiting for everybody to come in town to kind of do that kind of event. But Daryl Moose Johnson and then Coach Johnson will also be there. So that is February 17th. If you want information, head over to UFL News Hub and just RSVP and have fun with that. We've got the date times. I think the time is on here somewhere. It should be 4 to 5:30. A lot of fun. Had a chance to talk to Moose Johnson. Had a chance to talk to Russ Brandon. They're just standing right there. Coach Barlow, you could just go right up to them and say hello and get a picture if you want, or ask them a question. I mean, it's really where do you get to do that? Where do you get to do that in the NFL? And you don't at all, because I like the UFL better. I'm just saying. All right, let's get to our emailers. Again, email podcast at uflnewshub.com or email or a phone call 888-430-7692 if you want to be show. First, we got JD says, is there a UFL fantasy app coming, the likes of ESPN Fantasy Football? No, they're not going to do it, but you can go to News Hub Fantasy. I am trying to work on it. I am trying to get to it. Again, you've heard the story before. If the CFL gave me data, I don't even know where the data is coming from. So it's all kind of up in the air, but that's where you can go now. And there's Alt Fantasy or something. They also do it. So there you go. There's another plug. You can try them too. Sharon says, so happy AJ is coming back. Go Battlehawks. We are too. And when is the News Hub app coming out, Aaron? So if you're on Android, it will definitely be out. I have no problem with Android. It's Apple. Every time I send them an update, they're like, no, it doesn't fit the requirements. I'm like, I have one other thing I'm working on. And it's the way I'm doing it is I'm using .NET MAUI for your super nerds out there. And so it's cumbersome and it's not easy to do. So, but you definitely have an Android version, and we're just waiting. I'm just trying to, probably next week, I'm definitely going to try to give it another shot. See if I can get this thing approved. So you just have to kind of tune in for that. All right, my friends, that is it for this week. Again, thank you for stopping by, and it was so fun. Definitely, if you're a fan, go out to the events. Shout out to all the guys and gals at the DC Defenders event. I was happy just to be around you guys again, because the last time we were all together was in San Antonio, and it was just great. It was just great. Everybody's passionate, excited about the team. It was a good turnout. Super excited to now, not only there's Walters, but now there's this place to go check out too, before games and after games. So, and it's going to be nice out, which is going to be different as well. So, and we've got some cool announcements and exciting things coming up, and exciting guests I want to point out are also on the way. So you're not going to want to miss that. So that's it for me, folks. As always, God bless. And I will see you all next week, because it will be the final week before training camp begins. God bless. And I will see you all later.